Okay, hi everybody. Um, so here's the data set that was shared, right? And then we have the info about the data set, um, data description. This data set is a comprehensive resource for HR professionals, data analysts, and machine learning enthusiasts. It includes anonymized employee data designed to help organizations analyze attrition rates, performance metrics, and workforce demographics. It is particularly useful for exploratory data analysis, predictive modeling, and dashboard creation. Okay, so the target audience, of course, we fall under the data professionals HR analytics. It just helps analyze. Remember, we talked about data being dynamic and applicable to different scenarios. We've used it in sales, we've used it in this and all. So great stuff. Um, so we have what it features. Of course, these are the colons and then the definitions. Employee ID, unique identifier of each employee, age of employee, department, job roles, attrition indicates whether the employee has left the organization, the tenure, number of months employee has worked in the company, education level, marital status, salary, state, ethnicity, risk level indicates whether an employee is classified as high risky, risky, low risky, or non risky. Services subscribed indicates whether the employee has access to various services, phone services, tech support, etc. Okay, that gives us the info. So we have the details in the employee master sheet. I'll just open that. So here's our data set. Right. Okay. I wish we could do this together because yeah, I like the whole interaction. But let's just go with the flow. Like I keep saying, first thing you do when you get hold of a data set is to understand the data set, understand the context. Well, primarily you get to know the task, right? The task is to design a dashboard, make sense out of this data, derive insights from this information. So it's basically an analytics analysis, right? Yeah, and present in a dashboard. So once you understand the task, to get insights from this data set, the next thing you want to do is to understand the data set, right? So in understanding the data set, um, maybe for better visibility, I could choose to convert it to a table first. So I'll go to insert and click on table. Not necessary, but yeah, click on table, not pivot table, table. James, okay, James, please tell me.
Sir, your screen is not showing.
That's very strange. That's very strange. Can others see my screen, please?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. That's right. So James, maybe you should log out and log in again because I can see my screen. Like I can see that my screen is supposed to be showing. Right.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So putting it in tabular form has, I think, helped to clarify. Maybe I'd make these branded columns and maybe unbranded rows so that we see each column dissected. So I was able to do that in the table design. If you go to, when you're in the table, you go to table design, you'll see different things you could add, right? Branded rows, branded columns, and all that. Okay. So going through this, the first thing you go through the data set, and here look, so employee ID comes first, then first name, last name, yeah, gender, business, travels, gender, age, business, travel, department, this kilometers from home, state, ethnicity, education field, job role, marital status, salary, stock time, and all. Now, I mentioned something very important, the pro tip I gave earlier, that when it comes to analyzing, that for this data set, and it is very important, I had learned this the hard way some years back, a few years back anyway. Now, there are different data types. See this column here, type Microsoft Excel command separate. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh boy, that was zooming out. Oh boy, what have I done? Oops. So I'll just change this to details. I really thought this was going to zoom in. Okay, I give up. Okay, so if you see this, you'd see Microsoft Excel command separator value files. It's a CSV file. So this file format, I'll show you something now. If I save this file and I close and I open it again, see what happens. Everything I have done lost. Okay, so typically when you have, and these all files are CSV, so you must be conscious of the file type, the type of the Excel file you're working with. So like for CSV file, if you open it, right, you want to save it as an Excel workbook. I'll show you. So go to file, go to save as, then here you see the name, you see CSV, you click on the type and select Excel workbook, and you save it as an Excel workbook. If you don't do that, every analysis you carry out would go away, and you don't want that. It can be frustrating. Sometime back I'd carry out analysis and then all at once, and I would save and exit, open again, and I would not see my file. It was so frustrating until I figured out that yeah, I needed to do that. So I'll just go again. I've saved it as an Excel workbook now. I'll go again and data, rather insert table. Like I said, helps for visualization. I'd probably just change this to branded columns, whatever works for you. So we've gone through the columns. So first of all, you understand the data set you're working with. Take your time. Understanding is, I think, the most important part. Checking for gaps, checking if the data is clean. If you remember, if the data needs some cleaning, and all this data is pretty clean, so there is not much to be done, right? Okay, so once you've gone through and understood the data, you're sure you understand what information is here now. Another thing you take your time to do is to, so when you're new to the data, is to take your time and now ask yourself, what information can I get from this data? Okay, what information can I get from the data? So if your stakeholder, if the person you're doing the task for does not give you that information, if the person you're doing the task for does not give you that information, then you need to figure it out yourself. And one good way of figuring out, one good way of knowing the information you can derive from a data set is by having domain knowledge, the business domain knowledge. What do I mean? I've mentioned this again, over and over again, but what do I mean? You understand, have a good knowledge of whatever you're analyzing, business you're analyzing, right? So, um, let's say you're working in a sales team, a marketing team, and then you have data to analyze. You understand the business, you know what's up, so it is easy for you to know the information you are looking out for, like total sales, total customers, maybe top customers, highest product sold, all that kind of thing, right? If you are in um, maybe you work in as an analyst in a clinic, right? Oh, how many patients came here? um, what are the available bed spaces, number of patients per day, and all that kind of stuff. If you work in what other industry, maybe public health, and maybe COVID-19, you're carrying out COVID-19 analysis, or you understand, or the states, the countries that had the highest count of it, total casualties, and all that. So you need to understand the context of whatever you are analyzing. If you are in a car dealership, on and on it goes, right? Okay. Now, in a situation where you do not have the domain knowledge, perhaps you're bumped up with the data set just like this. It's now left for you to do due diligence in understanding what that data set is telling you. That's what I mean by having understanding. What information can I get out of this data set? Okay, the employee ID from what we saw is a unique identifier. No two employees have the same employee ID. Two employees can have the same name, but no two employees can have the same employee ID. So that's the primary key, the unique identifier. Okay. So one information I can get from here is, and then I'm with a pen and paper, I'm just going to jot them down. So typically you can just take note of them, and it's going to help you when you get to the pivot table stage to know what to do. So employee ID, so here I can see I can get total number of employees. That would be good information, right? Okay. Now, gender. I can have gender-wise data, gender-wise information. That's how many females versus how many males. Maybe I should just be typing this on a sheet so that we can all see it together. Yeah, so first is, so that I can see from, since if it is a unique identifier, it can be count of, so I'll just put here count of employee ID. Remember, employee ID is unique to each employee, so yeah, it's good stuff to count. Next we have, okay, from this we can get info from these other ones. Next we have gender, so we can have gender wise data, gender wise info. Male versus female. Yes, T, hi. Your hand is up. T, was there a mistake? Okay, I'll just go on. So, gender wise info, male versus female. That's for gender. Then we have age, so we can put on for average age. Here, how do they spell average again? Average, oh yeah, average age. You can get that from here. Then business travel. Business travel. Business travel, so we could call it, yeah, business travel. Yeah, department wise data is important. Department wise info, so how many staff, how many employees per department, that kind of thing. Distance from home, distance from home is also good information, so have an idea of proximity. I mean, it could help in like route bus planning, for companies that get to pick their staff, shuttle their staff. Okay, so we have state-wise info. So state-wise, how many staff are in each state? So these state-wise, there are abbreviations here. You could even go to the extra mile and search out their meaning, their full names. We're going to do that together, so we'll see how. State-wise info. So employees per state. Department-wise, employees per department. Just business travel, yeah, average age, that's enough info. Distance from home, okay. So ethnicity, yeah. How many people are from Ikwere? And Idoma, Hausa, Yoruba, Efik. Ethnicity. That's employee by ethnicity. Educational level. Education. So we didn't have it in numbers here. Remember, we have other documents. So we're going to compare. We're going to see how we do that. Then field of study. As a matter of fact, we can even deep dive go. Well, for doing field of study, we can even deep dive such that we're comparing field of study versus department they are in right now to see how they tally, right? Okay. Then we have job role, yeah, field of study. So you could just put it field of study versus job role. Or rather, I'll just put job role and just leave it like that separately. What else? Marital status, good info. Salary wise info. Then we come this way. So literally everything in this sheet is information. Stock option level. Stock option level. Okay, we just write that. Stock option over time. Oh, sorry about that, James. Can you try from another device? If you cannot see the screen, James, I'm really sorry. Stock option, stock option, stock option. Okay, so over time is good information. Higher dates. So from higher dates we can get. Okay. So higher dates we can use that to get info on average hire per period. Attrition, we saw attrition is if they are still present right now or absent. Can also get attrition rates per time. There's just so much info we can get out of this data. Years in the company, yeah. I'm trying to write out everything. Years in most recent role, year since promotion, year with current. Oh yeah, so that is so much info. I just stop here. This is a lot already. Yeah, and I saw someone's work. I think it was Messi that looked really good. I'll just open it or continue. Like it looked like she had everything all in place. Looked beautiful, and top earners by department, so lovely. Very good insights. Messi, well done, good job, I must say. Okay, so let's go on. Now we've been able to itemize information we can get out of this data. That should be the first thing before we go and start creating pivot tables. Okay, so you could tick a box after each one you've done. Now I'll open another sheet and I'll type pivot analysis, and first thing I will do is okay, so I'll come back here and insert pivot table and a new worksheet. Okay, oh boy, no, this is not. Okay, fine, this works. I'll just delete this and I'll call this my pivot analysis. So here we have our data here. So I'm just going to put employee ID, so it gives me the count of employee ID, and there we go. This is our count of employee ID, so this is number of employees. I just keep that here. Okay, I could even call this like number of employees. Okay, what's the next on our list? gender wise info. That means how many male, how many female. I'll just copy this pivot table, Control C. Yeah. So now I'll go here, number of employees, right? I'll now go to gender and put in the role. So we have female, male, non-binary, prefer not to stay. Oh well, if this data was valid anytime from 20th of this month, we would see that according to the executive order by the new US president, there is only male and female. But well, let's go with the flow. I tend to stand with him though. So I'll call this gender. Okay. So next, we've got the info for gender. Next on our list is what? Average age. So I'll copy this again. You know how we just work with existing pivot tables rather than create another. Just to manage space, I'll move this. Yes, T, your hand is up. Is it a mistake? Wow. Okay. So the next was what? Average age, right? So I'll take this off, number of employees, and then I'll put age in values. This gives a sum of the age, but then it's the average age we want, right? So I'll right click and show value, oh boy, and summarize by average. Summarize value by average, not sum. So it gives us the average age in multiple decimal places. I'm just going to format it to 0 decimal places. Okay. So the average age of employees in this company is 29. Okay. So just maybe change this to average age. Next on our list is what? Business travel. Okay, so let us see how many employees are entitled to business trips. So I'll take off, okay, employee number is there, so I'll just put business trip in the business travel in the rows. So I'll just call this business travel. Yeah. Okay. I would even say we may not even need to have, so okay, look, I'll just itemize everything and then we'll rationally look and see okay, what needs to be on the charts, what needs to be in slicers only for filters, because not everything needs to be everywhere. You could just have filters for some and then the rest. Okay, what's the next on our list after business travel? Department wise info. So if I check, we have departments here. So want to know number of staff per department. So I could just copy this, put here, and then take away business travels and put departments. Change this to departments. So there are just 3 departments here. Oh boy. Okay, so here we were in department, so we've picked up for department, number of employees by department, and what do we have next? Distance from home. So apparently we just have three departments here. That's interesting. Yes, just three departments. Okay, so next on our list is state-wise employee info. So I'll just copy this and put state-wise and so I'll take away department and I'll put states. I thought there was a distance from home. Oh, I missed that. I'll get back to that. Okay. Yeah, so three cities: California, Illinois, and New York. So we could easily walk around that. If we want to see the actual states, so either manually put it here, or better still, we can create another sheet and call it um, lookup file, lookup data. I'll just copy, since I know there are three, I'll just copy a short subset that has the three of them and paste. I'll call this state initials, and then I'll call this state name. So one thing I remove duplicates, highlight that colon, remove duplicates. Yep. So now I think, sorry, I'm quite familiar. I hope. Illinois. Illinois is a state in the US. I think IL means that, and CA is usually California. I feel like I'm getting the spellings wrong. I don't know if there's. Let me just. Is there an arrow in California? No, there is not. Oh, is there? California. Okay, so this is the correct spelling. Illinois, and then this is New York. Yeah, so having this here, I can come to this data set and right click here and insert. I'll just insert another column and call this state name. Perhaps I'll just change this to state initials, and I'll call this state so that I don't get to start doing so much. And then I'd use my lookup to get that state name over here. Like I said, this is a holistic data, so it helps to. So equal to, I'll use X lookup. I'm looking up this guy, IL, in the lookup data sheet. So look up that IL in this column and return the corresponding value here. And there we have it. The beauty of working with a table is that it just applies to everything. Then we have all the states here. Okay. So notice we So if we go back to our pivot analysis, if we look here, we had a state initially, but if when you add a colon or any data to a table or your data set, you come to your pivot table. Just right click on any pivot table and click on refresh in the pivot table, and it corrects. See, it's taking the name of the new data set right now. Yeah, so we have, I think this makes more sense, especially for we that are not in the US, so we can better relate rather than IL and the rest. So that's that for the states. Then we have distance from home. What do we do about that? So we can get the average distance from home for now, unless we figure out what else we can do. So distance from home, I'll just drop it here, 3000 some. So average makes more sense. So the average distance from home for everybody is 22 kilometers, or 23 if you round it up to 0 decimal places. So average distance from home. So we've done that. Next on our list, ethnicity, employee ethnicity. So I'll just copy this again. Take off states and then put ethnicity. There we have it. Just ethnicity. So we see that the whites are the highest population, followed by the black or African Americans, mixed, good information. So we can derive ethnic inclusiveness from that information. Okay, another thing we can get, okay, I'll just take this out. What's the next thing? The next thing is education wise. Oh, what did these people study? So I'll just take this off and go select education. But oh no, 1 2 3 4 5, I just saw this largest 3 4, and if you're presenting this, what does this mean? It doesn't make sense, right? So we have other data sets. Oops. We have other data sets here. Education level. It was provided among the data sets shared. Then we have the mapping here, the level ID, and then the educational level. Educational ID and the market level. So what are we going to do? We're going to look up this data and move it to our master sheet. So I'll come here and where is the sheet? where do we have education? So we have education here and numbers. So I'll just insert and call this education level. And then this time around I'll use a VLOOKUP. I used XLOOKUP for the other one, so that we are touching everything. So equal to VLOOKUP 5. So we're going to look up the numbers and then return their corresponding educational levels. So 5 comma, then we'll go to our education sheet, highlight the 2, as select the table, comma, colon 2, and then throw our exact false. Yeah, so hit enter, and there we have it all here, the educational levels. If you don't understand what I did, go back to the VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP trainings classes, and you'll get the grasp of it. So now we have the educational level. I'll just save this. Periodically, it's nice to save, especially if your computer battery runs low or you have issues with it. Else, yeah, it's good to save. So, oh, I didn't change this educational level, so I'll change this educational level. So I want to add educational level here, and if you look, there is no educational level here because we just added that colon. So what we need to do is just to refresh. Once we refresh, if you check, there's now educational level here. So I'm going to remove the education and then select educational level, and there you go. We have good information. Okay. So what other information are we to get? Education field. Okay, so much. This guy has like so much information, this data set, and I love it. I love it when you can extract a whole lot of data from a data set. And we are not even in the end. There's so much data you can extract from data sets. I think at some point a HR professional would have more insights into what we can get out of it. So we have next education field. So simply take off education level and put education field. So this shows the field of study and all, and we have majority of people in the tech field, computer science and information system in the company. Interesting. So nice. So we'll change this to education field. I think I just change this to education, not rather than educational level, education level. Yeah. Oh boy, what is M? So next we go into pum 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 pum. Where did we have departments? Oh yeah, department has the. This must be a tech company. We have the highest employees in. So these are like gathering insights from the data. I'm able to say this is definitely a tech company, right? They have the highest population of their employees are in technology, and then you have sales. I mean, when you have a software or a product, whatever, the next thing you'd want marketers to sell it, right? And then human resources ensuring these guys are okay. It's just beautiful information. And oh, I didn't change this to states. And yeah, if you are familiar with the US, you would know that the top the top the top tech companies are in California. California is like the tech hub. That's where you have Silicon Valley. So very interesting. I'm loving this data set already. So educational field. Oh, I did this two times. Okay, I duplicated this for the next one. So the next on our list is job role. So I take off education and put job role, sort from largest to lowest. I'll call this job role. So we have the top three highest roles, or the top roles are sales executives, software engineers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, senior software engineers. So guys, pick one of these roles and start a career in it. I'm joking. When we look at the salaries they are earning, then we can make that decision. So next we have let's see. Next we have marital status. Job role, marital status. Oh boy. Marital status. Number of employees. So majority married, and then we have single and the divorced. Okay, so next we have the salary, right? Yes, salary. So for salary we can get a whole lot of info. I'll just take this off, I'll put salary in fields. I'm just going to go ahead to convert this to dollars at once and blow my mind away. Perhaps I might figure out my next career right now. Okay, 6 million salary. Okay, and what do we do this by? Perhaps we can get different info from here. So if I go for job role, out of my curiosity, sort from, no, not this, sort from largest to smallest. Sales executives have the highest sum, but let's not be deceived. If I add number of employees before that, I'm gonna change this format to number format. Okay, so you see, so looking at this info now, let me just change this to number of employees. Is job role and salary. Looking at this, so sales executive, this had the highest, right? And then see the number of people. So see number of people sharing the salary. Engineering managers, just 75 of them, and then they're the second highest. So a good thing to do, let us see the average salary these people are earning. So summarize by average. So we see that the HR managers HR managers are four, and here's their average salary. That means the people calculating the money for us are getting the highest, and they're putting good chunks for themselves. Analytics managers. So from this data, you could see that the manager levels are the biggest earners. The average take home per annum, right, is this analytics manager. You see why we should do data analytics? After HR, we are the highest earners, so that when we become managers, we are, doing alright. Strive for mastery. HR business partners are earning so much. HR guys earn so much. Interesting. Okay, because they get to recruit the best hands. Engineering managers and all that and all that. Okay. Data scientist pays are so low. Don't mind me. I'm just digging into the data, and that I think we should have that mindset. You see some data set, and you just want to excite yourself in the data and understand the context to which the data is coming. So we could look at it this way. Another thing we could do, let me just keep this aside. So in the end, it's not all about the dashboard, right? It's not all about the dashboard. The pivot table analysis would give you deeper insight, will give you even detailed insights into the data, and the dashboard is just a representation of the summary. You may not be able to put everything in the dashboard, you just put key information. But in here, this is good stuff. Okay, so now I want to see the top earners. So I'm just going to summarize this by sum. I'm going to take away number of employers and job role, and I want to see the top earners, right? And first name, last name doesn't make sense. So I'll go back to my master data and merge the two data sets together, first name and last name. Who can tell me the function to use for that? Anybody? Okay, so
Is it concatenate? They call it concatenate, right?
perfect. Thank you so much. So there is concatenate. Okay, it's concatenate. Oh, there is also text join. For those who have the later versions of Excel, you could use text join. Right. So there is concat equal to concat. Concatenate. The concat also does the job. Concatenate. This first comma, I can now put maybe a space, comma, and this, close it, and then you have the first name and surname together. And then if I were to use the text join, equal to text join, the delimiter is the separator, the delimiter is space, so I'll just put an empty space in double quotes, comma, ignore blanks, true, ignore blanks, and comma, text. So I'll just highlight these two and hit enter, and there we have it. So potato potato, get the job done. So now I'll go back to my pivots and right click and refresh. and there we see employee name come to place, and I put it here. Yes, Hillary. I'm Harry. Yeah.
This text join, can you use a concatenation to do it too?
Yes. I did concatenate first of all before I did text join. I did concat and then I did text join. Here, you didn't see?
My screen went off.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yes, so that works also. Text join, concat works same way. Okay, so I'll put employee employee name here. So now we have the sum of their salaries here. Now let us see what roles these employees have, the job roles. So I'll put job role on top of employee, and then let me under design. I want to change the report layout to tabular form. There we go. Changing the layout under design tab in tabular form helps you like make it more tabular. So you have every employee, the total amounts for each. If you want to collapse it, you can minimize, 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 minimize. If you want to minimize everything, you can just right click and you go to group, you go to expand slash collapse, and you go to collapse entire field, you collapse everything. So based on this sorting largest, you want to see maybe the top earners. Let's see the top earners in under the sales, or what's the highest person in sales getting. $350,000 per annum. Sales executive. Then under engineering managers, the highest person is getting 539. And then okay, maybe we want to see their roles because it's not even sorting. I can move the roles after the employee name, so it just shows what each of them is earning. I don't want these subtotals here, so I'll just go to design tab and go to subtotals, and do not show subtotals, it takes it off. So here we can see the name, their job roles, and then their earnings. So from here we see the highest earners in this company are the analytics managers. I feel the Lord speaking to me right now. Okay, so that the top earners in this company, 547. It's in the Nigerian in me. We will go to the calculator to do. Why would I go to calculator when there is Excel in front of me? So equal to this times, what is the current exchange rate? Let me just use 1,600 though. And let me just put the commas. So in a year, this person is like earning 875 million naira. This is lovely. Who would like to end that here? I wouldn't mind. Okay, so we see the top earners ranging between the analytic engineers and managers and engineering managers, and then we have, of course, the managers are the highest earners, so on and so forth and so forth. And then let us have a look at the least earners. I would sort from the lowest to the largest. That's not working. So what will happen, I will take off the job role and then sort from smallest to largest, and then I'll put back the job role. How would a data scientist be earning the lowest? This is very weird. It must be So something like this could bring out curiosity. Why is a data scientist, why data scientists, software engineers, why are they earning the lowest? And these are like supposed to be technical roles, right? Let us dig further to see if we can get more information. Um, Let me see the educational level of these guys. In case we would get more info. So these guys have bachelor's. The data scientist here has a bachelor's degree. The software engineer bachelor's degree. Okay, data scientist, no formal qualification and all. So let's scroll down to the top earners. See, this analytics manager has no formal education qualification, and then she earns more. The high school. So I'm just seeing that irrespective of the qualification, they have skill sets for the manager level. They're the top earners. So we have another data scientist here who has a master's degree and is earning $455,000 when another person who has a bachelor's degree is earning. I mean, we have a data scientist here who has a high school degree and is earning 423,000. Then we have one with a bachelor's degree earning 20,000. It may seem not fair, but I'm sure they may have like different skill levels. If we dig into this data, I am sure we would get the information right. Let's look at number of years at company. Let's look at the promotions. Okay, yes, since last promotion, this may not be necessary for that info, but I'm sure from the other data sets we have performance rating, we should be able to get this information about these people. Anyway, so this is typically dissecting data, trying to analyze the data, right? Now let's look at the years at company. Oh, you see, so 0 years at company. These low guys haven't really worked for so long. Let's go down to C. Oh, these top earners have been in the company for like 8 years, analytics manager 10 years. But then we have this other one, 1 year, and they're earning. I'm sure they have some good experience. So we never can tell everything until we have a holistic data. I don't think we have any sheet that shows years of experience. Number of years in most recent role could be good information. Still. Okay, so that is a lot of deep diving. I'll just so in the end, I think I'll just stick with just hide this. So I'll just stick with the job role and the average salary for now. Yeah. Okay. what other information? Sorry, am I being, are we following, or am I high sounding? Are we going with the flow? Do we have questions so far? Please, I'm open to questions. Henry, can I take your hand being up for a question? I know it's been up all the since the last time you asked the question. Okay, so no questions, so we'll just go on. Salary wise, stock option. So this stock option thing, stock option 1 and 0, 1 0 0 1 2 3. Let me see if any of the data sets have that information on stock. Let's see. No, don't see that here. Rating level. Yeah, we'll eventually need to add these guys. So the rating level may even impact on the pay. We can do that comparison. Performance rating. Okay, we've worked with education level, and I closed this earlier. Satisfactory level of satisfaction. We have everything open now. Rating level. Okay, so let's see. The next one was what? Stock option. In the information that was provided, did they send it on stock option? The guy, I mean, whoever did this, also skipped the stock option. So, yeah, I guess it's irrelevant information for us. So I'll just take that off the list. Overtime, yes, no. So that would give information on those that work overtime or not. So I just copy this change. We can't make this change for selected cells. I don't know what that means, but I probably clicked on the wrong thing. But just copy this since. Oh, I hid some values here. I hid some data. I'll just keep this here. Here I hid the other stuff. On hide. Yeah, I could even like take it off because let me just hide it. Yeah. So here we're trying to go for overtime. Who works overtime? How many employees work overtime? So few of them. If we want to dig further to see the job roles that work overtime, the highest job roles, maybe I put this in filter, and then I go for yes. So software engineers, sales executives, these guys work the most overtime. Of course, the HR staff work the least overtime, and then no overtime at all. We have, yeah, so for this we don't even need to know by the job roles. you could just have it here, perhaps convert it to show value as percentage of grand total, and take away the decimal places. So we have 72% of employees do not work overtime, which is quite healthy. It speaks of good work-life balance. Okay, so what's the next info? Hire dates. What information can we get from hire dates? So yeah, so we can get, so I'll just summarize this by count, sort from largest to smallest. No, so summarize by no calculation, and I'll change this from overtime to higher dates. So this gives us a trend of how many employees, the employee rates from time. So if we just do a quick line graph just to take a quick peek at the trend, when it comes to dates, line graphs are the best to show trends. So we can see that in 2017, like a quick look would show that in the year 2017 there was a drop in higher rates, and then we can even just oppose this with total number of staff at this point. Oh my god. The higher rates, how do we get to the number of staff? It's the same. Okay, that's fine. So number of staff hired over this period of time. So we see the trend of hire. If you are a regular LinkedIn visitor, if you go on LinkedIn, you could and check out a company, you could see the company's hiring rates. There you'd see, oh, company hired so and so. Let me see if I can find a quick one to show you what I'm talking about. LinkedIn feeds. Let me search for Microsoft. Yeah. Okay, I can't exactly see that right now. Sorry, I'm checking on another screen, so yeah, one second, I'll be with you. If I don't see it, I'll just let it go. Okay, under jobs. Okay, so I can't find much. So usually, if you go to a company on LinkedIn, I can't find the exact place right now. You would see the higher rates per annum. So that gives an insight as to what they've been up to. If I take this off and I add data labels, yep. Okay, so I'll take this off for now. I'll change this to higher dates. What other information? Attrition rates, or rather attrition. So there is attrition and then there is attrition rates. Um, so I'll take away the year and the hire date and the month, number of employees, and attrition, yes or no. Attrition. So attrition is have the number of employees that have resigned or that are no longer working there. We can see that here. Attrition indicates whether the employee has left the organization, yes or no. So yes, 227, no, 1233. So yeah, so if you want to dig further, you could even you may want to see, maybe put the attrition in filter and go for yes, and then you want to see the top job roles leaving the company, and you see data scientists and sales executives. Yeah, the top roles. And if you want to dig further, you could probably want to see their salaries. Not just no calculation. Sorry, change the format to numbers, to currency. Okay, and then we want to see the average salary. Current total. No. Average salaries. So if you want to compare, okay, a data scientist should earn up to $100,000 per annum. So perhaps you'd have that high attrition rate because of the pay. I mean, one can dig in deep, and you could also deep dive with the performance. There is a performance thing where yeah, so where the performance could be low and then they will let go or something. um the so there's a whole lot of info you can get from this, right? So I'm done with this. I can just hide this sheet. There's an option to hide. If you want to unhide, you right click on any of the tabs and click on unhide. You see what you hid and you get it back. Just hide this since we're done with it for now. So there could be a number of reasons for attrition. If usually in a standard, when a staff is leaving, they fill this offboarding form where you have reason for leaving. If we had that information, it would give a more vivid reason as to why these people are leaving. Then we see that the tech and then the sales executives, tech roles and sales executives are the highest attritions here. So that's just what I wanted to find out. So I will just take that off and put back the attrition rates for yes and no. Oops. Next we have what else? Years at the company. So for that we can take away attrition, and then I'll put these two. Show numbers, please. So count of years of hire, is it supposed to be count? No, I think it's supposed to be sum. What is this? Count of years? No. Let me see. So years of hire. What? Where is years at company rather? So years at company is here. Okay, some of years at company, and I'll just put, let's change it to average 5. So average 5, and then I'm going to put job role, maybe sort from largest to smallest. So of course we have the managers staying longer. It's typical. The managers, scientists. So employees stay an average of 5 years at the company typically, and which is fair. Okay, so we have exhausted our list for now, or have we? What have we missed so far? Years of last promotion. That's for deeper insights. We can further, like I said, there's a whole lot of insight you can get from here. But performance is one important thing in analyzing data, HRO data, staff performance. I mean, that's what determines their promotion and all that stuff, right? So let's take a glimpse at some of this data. So the performance sheet. So in this sheet we have performance ID. We have the employee ID. We have the date reviewed, and then we have the satisfaction, so their performance generally. So we have the environment satisfaction, job satisfaction, relationship satisfaction, training opportunities within year. We have training opportunities taken. We have work-life balance, we have self-rating, and we have manager rating. Okay, so typically in, like I said, domain knowledge is very important. Typically in performance management and performance rating in human resources of a company, yes, so there are different metrics they use to justify how to rate. They used to rate people, like KPI, key performance indicators, right? So here, environment satisfaction, job satisfaction, relationship satisfaction. This could be personal ratings, self ratings by the employee, and training opportunities within the year, how many taken, this could be under metrics. So there's a training opportunity here. Training opportunities taken 0. This other person, 1 training opportunity yet. Person took 3, went the extra mile, and all that. Work-life balance. Remember when we talked about overtime, average overtime, and yeah, work-life balance determines that. And then we have self-rating and manager rating. So we have another sheet here called rating level. Rating ID, rating level, unacceptable. This we have another one. Satisfaction ID, satisfaction level. So if you are looking deep, we've worked with the education already where we mapped it to their education level, so I can close this. So looking at performance, you see here we have satisfaction. I'll put that in yellow, and then we have satisfaction level, and then we have rating level. So we have 2 others called self-rating and manager rating. So it's just like thinking outside the box. Oh, there is a satisfaction, and then there is a rating. There's a rating level from the performance rating. So we'll have to get the average for the satisfaction, and then we'll get the average for the ratings, and then from there we're going to get different ratings. Okay, so I'll just insert the column, and then I didn't know this exactly, I'm just figuring it out. Someone one day could see my video on YouTube and say, oh no, that's not how it's done, but just logicking it out. I think it makes sense. So what I'll do here, I'll create an additional column, and what is it called here for the satisfaction level, equal to average. You see how the functions we learned come to play. Average of these 3, hit enter, and then I think I did something on this the other day, so we want it in whole numbers, so I'm just gonna round this to 0 digits, 0 decimal places. So there we go. Formula omit adjacent cells. Yes, I'm aware. So there we have it. We've got the average for satisfaction level. Now let's get, I used the same here. I think it would be nice to separate with something lighter. Just because I want the green, I just put this. So let's get the average. Let's get the rating level, right? Rating level, yeah. Oh no. Oh, this would be average satisfaction rather. I'll just call this average satisfaction, and then I'll call this average rating. So equal to average of these 2. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll just round it. I'll just use the round function. to hover it so that I don't have the decimal places. So the thing about the decimal places is if we leave it to the decimal places, it's gonna give us, and then we're looking up the values here. Since it's not exact, it's going to give us like errors, NA errors, not found. But then if we use approximate match, yes, we'll be able to work around that. However, I think the last time I tried it, it brought up some complications, so it's just better to use the round function and get the job done. So I'm just gonna put this maybe side by side. Now I'm gonna put satisfaction level. Oops, satisfaction level equal to, I'll just highlight this, just call this to, is purple, like purple, yeah. Satisfaction level, and then I'll call this rating level. Just put it at once. So for satisfaction level, we're going to look up the average satisfaction. So equal to X lookup, because it's going to be faster for me. X lookup the average satisfaction, where in the sheet that has the satisfaction level, look up the number and return the satisfaction level, and there we go. Very satisfied. And we have the drop down for it all. Okay, now for the rating level, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look up the average rating. Let's look up the average rating in the rating sheet, rating, and return the rating level, and there we go, exceeds expectation. So remember, when it is, remember these files, they're all in CSV format, right? So formulas, anything that are not numbers, will go away if you close it and open. So it's important that if you want to maintain the formulas, you go to File, Save As, change it to Workbook, and it's going to save. However, if you don't mind, like for real, I really don't mind, the formulas are going to go away if I close and open the game, but then the numbers are going to remain, the values are going to remain, but then the formulas are going to go away. I'm just interested in the formulas, in the values after all. But in the situation you want to keep your formulas, like in the master sheet, ensure you save as values. So now we've got our level, satisfaction level, and we've got our rating level all in one sheet. I can close this rating level, and I can close the satisfied level. Got all the info I want from there, they're all here. So now what I'll do is I'll go there. I want to now bring this information. I want to now know which employee, what each employee had, right? I want to know. So we have the employee ID. Remember, the employee ID is what is unique to each of the employees, right? Then we want to get the satisfaction and rating level into our master sheet where we're carrying out our analysis. So I'd come here. Now the common, remember in lookup, when we're looking up stuff, the connector is what is common. Here, what is unique, the primary key, right? A table that is in both sheets. So we have the employee ID here. We're going to use the employee ID and look up these two guys, and we're going to put them here. We have the employee ID here. So let's create additional columns here. I'll call this, yeah, so basically we can just copy this from here, satisfaction level and rating level, Control C, just the headers, and I'll right click Then if you notice, the table catches up. So once you're adding a column beside the table, it catches the table tags along. Okay, so equal to X lookup. Now we are looking up the employee ID because that is what is similar in both tables. So hey, look up this employee ID in the performance sheet in this column. Where you see that employee ID, return the satisfaction level. In fact, XLOOKUP is so interesting that I could literally select these two and close it and hit enter. Oh boy. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe because it's a table. I should have tried it first. Okay, let's go manual. So XLOOKUP, look up the table. I think it's because it's a table, that's why it's not working. Yeah, tables can be nice and funny at the same time. So XLOOKUP this, and okay, look up that in this sheet, in this column, and return the satisfaction level. There we have it, satisfaction level. And then we go again for the XLOOKUP the employee ID and return, oh yeah, check for it over here and return the rating level, and voila, we have it all here. Then you now check. So I'm checking the drop down to be sure everything's intact, and no, I'm seeing NAs. There are some not applicable. When you see NA, it's more like saying, oh, it was not found. So how many NAs do we have? We have like 190 NAs. Why is that so? It means that these data sets were not found in the performance rating. And I'm curious, why could that be so? And I quickly just go through the data, and I'm looking at this drop down. Years at company 0 years and 1 year. So between 0 and 1 year. Some companies, they do not carry out appraisals when when employees have not been after 1 year. They carry it out maybe after 1 year of the staff working. That's when they carry out performance ratings and all. Sometimes 6 months, whichever way. So that's just an assumption right now as to why we do not have these ratings here. Okay, so on the performance sheet, these people are not there, and notice a similar trend. They are between 0 and 1 year in the company. Those are the insights, the observations you could carry out. Probably some other insight you could gather. I don't know. So another thing. So who can remind us of how we deal with NAs? So sometimes in a situation where you see NA and then it feels like it's not in the previous data, before you go into conclusions, you want to check. You can take a sample of the employee ID, copy it, go to the performance sheet, and maybe put a drop down. This is what I'll do. I'll come to this drop down, that employee ID, and search for it. Once there is no match found, then I'm like, surely it's not here. So I can confidently say there is no data, right? So not applicable. I'm curious about something though. These people, higher date was between 2021 and 2022. Let us check the last time appraisal was done. And I hit some sheets on hide. So we had this column for review date. And here we have, okay, 2021, 2022. Okay, so another thing we can do just to justify the claim of, so I'll select every other one and take off the new guys, the guys that have the ratings, and I'll check years at company. Wow, so we have some 0 and 1 who have been appraised. Yeah, so that's not a valid claim that they've been there for 1 year, you see. So we're digging into the data. So when you do not have the information to stuff, you could just put a clause, no data, blank, no information, no info, that kind of thing. So, or no rating. So I'm going to put a clause over this guy so that if NA, remember the if NA formula, so if the result of this lookup is NA, then give us no data. Oh yeah, no data, then close, right, enter. So now rather than having NAs, we have no data. And I'm going to do the same to this sheet, to this column rather. If NA, no data. There we go. So rather than having NAs, we have no data. Okay. So I just save this and we could add, okay, come here and I'll just come here and refresh, or rather refresh, yeah, and come copy this, take away attrition and put satisfaction level. So this gives an overview of satisfaction level of staff. People, we may even want to sort it by the level, the rating. Very satisfied, maybe move very satisfied to the beginning, then satisfied comes next. Oops, so the way I do this, I put the list, so data, I'll put data, move data first, move data to beginning, then very dissatisfied comes, no data, very dissatisfied comes next, move to beginning, then dissatisfied comes next, move to beginning. So it just keeps piling up until I get the topmost one. Then neutral, move to beginning, then satisfied, move to beginning, then very satisfied, which seems to be the highest, move to beginning. So we have very satisfied. So this time we're not even sorting from the beginning, we want to see the rating as per this, and this is satisfaction level. So yeah, the dissatisfaction rate is very low because we just have like 77 out of 1470. Yeah, yeah, which is fine, I guess. So we'll just copy this again and then use it for our rating level. rating level above and beyond, exceeds expectation, meets expectation, no data. And this is perfect. This is the perfect arrangement for this guy. This perfect arrangement for this. So I'll call this rating level. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you see we have spent 2 hours extracting data from the data set, which is very important. This is very important. So today what we did was we read about the data set, understood what we could get from there. We went through the data set to understand each column. We now took note of everything we could get out of the data set as much as possible before we went on to do our pivot analysis. After we did our pivot analysis, and then we saw how we deep dived into different things, getting information. Remember, critical thinking, attention to details, just thinking outside the box, taking your time. There are no hurries in this, right? Is the key to analyzing the data. Pretty interesting data. I'm sure others think so too. Next would, of course, not tonight. Next would create the dashboard using this data. I thought I could do. I actually knew I couldn't do everything tonight. I thought, we'll get to dashboard stage, but that's not possible. So I guess we'll continue from here. What do you think? Do we? So I was going to have us jump into Power Query, but no jumping. So this is gonna help, especially those. I hope this is gonna help, especially those that were struggling, that had struggles in computing. I'm carrying out. So from here, the next phase would be creating the dashboards. You could go on YouTube. You could check out. What do you call it? Dashboard creation. Just watch the videos again if you need that help. Let me look for a sample HRO data set. Maybe it's gonna guide you, it's gonna help. Let me see. A dashboard for HRO data. This is pretty small. Let me zoom in. So small, but so it could give a glimpse. Maybe I'll look for something better. It could just give an idea of. I'll look for something brighter and share. Here we could see male, female, and all. So I'd want you to use this time. I was reminded that I gave till Saturday for us to complete the task. So if you submitted and you want to rework, please go ahead. You have between now and Saturday to submit. In all fairness, you could extend till Sunday, but by Monday I'd want to review, and or Sunday evening I'd want to start reviewing, and get this done. By Tuesday we'll do the dashboard together. I'll save my file, and then that would be that for that. Okay, any questions? We are 5 minutes late. No questions? Okay, well done everyone. I hope we're not sleeping at the end.